Hi everyone, it's Lori-Lynn. Thank you for coming back to my channel again, and welcome anybody that's new. If you like my channel, please subscribe, please like and share. My goal is to reach as many people as possible. I just do what Spirit tells me to do. I am an intuitive, I am a medium, and I channel messages. So all my messages are channeled. I use the cards to help me to interpret the messages. If you have a reading with me in person, I typically will mostly just use the messages that I receive from Spirit. They just come out of my life, out of my mouth. And I'd like to say, if you do like my channel, please like, subscribe, and comment, because I really do want to reach as many people as possible. So as I said, today is about feminine energy and what may be blocking that feminine energy at this time. And so I have 3 piles, and the first pile is this green and brown stone. It sounds like a house. And I do apologize. I know what stones are used for, the properties, principles, the metaphysical principles, but I'm really not great at remembering names of stones. And so I've mentioned her before on my channel before, but Cherry Blossom, Sherry Bowman, Freedom's Wind. She just does incredibly beautiful work with her stones, and she also brings in stones, and I've gotten a few from her that quite a few from her that I use just in my readings, because I know the energy that she has, that she can infuse into those stones. So it's really important. So if you ever wanted to see beautiful stones, that's Freedom's Wind. I believe it's freedomswind.net. And I just also like to acknowledge at this time, kind of went off track there. It's just what happens to me. But I want to acknowledge at this time that I personally have 2 channels that I follow because of the wisdom direction that they go in, that read, that I know that do channels, so that are authentic. And the first one is Claire Summers with Luminaire. She's really quite brilliant with her messaging, and the hermittarot, and she just adds a different flavor, different spark. I adore watching her channel, and I adore her Patreon account as well. But I just to understand differences, I suppose. Anyways, just a shout out to them and say thank you. So the 3 decks, once again, is the reason I was bringing up Freedom's Wind was because maybe I should talk to her and see if I can get a list of the names of rocks, which would be really awesome. So the first one is the brown green rock, and it comes with the number 8. So this is about really grounding in love, self-love, and it's moving forward in wisdom. So that's applying the knowledge plus the experience. And when we learn these lessons that are right into our bones. So that's what's most important right now for pile number 1. So if that resonates with you, that's pile number 1. Pile number 2 is a green stone as well, and it's gorgeous, and green is my favorite color, just so everybody, in case anybody wants to know. It's also pink is my favorite color. Oh, which just happens to be that the number 11 came with that. Number 11, I believe, has to do with synchronicities. And so watch for synchronicities, because you're moving forward. Group 2 is moving forward on a path. And so you're being directed. So watch for synchronicities. That's what's important at that time. Pile number 3 is this yellow stone. I have no idea what it is, but she's beautiful and I love her. And it's with the number 12. So the number 12 comes up to number 3. So that's about unity, but it's knowing that obviously that number 12 comes after the number 11. So if you've met all the challenges, you're starting on a new, say, leg of that journey that you're on. So what may be blocking your energy? This is feminine energy, and it's energy towards a partnership, and you can apply that in any manner possible that works for you in what kind of partnership. But it's typically, this is for relationship readings, love relationship or twin flame relationship. I hope that I'm making a little bit of sense. And so those are the 3 piles. And I have to mark that down. And so I'm going to start with pile number 1, which was the green, and the number 8, which is the wisdom. So there's a grounding. And so I'm going to first find out where you're coming from at this point with the Spirit deck of authenticity. And so it's saying right here, so you are okay. So this is really, the first card that comes up as the lesson is the card of transition. And so, as I said, you're going from a spot that is in your life that is transitioning. So you're learning a lot. Now, Spirit's saying it's actually happening really fast, and probably faster than you expected it to happen. It might have been a very slow process, but now it's going really quickly. And it's like, if I would have known it was going to be so fast, maybe would have enjoyed. This is what it's about. It's learning to enjoy those moments. And so through all transition, it's imperative to know that there are times in our lives that are slower than other times. And so when you're living in the moment, when you're living for today, when you're living knowing that your soul has a journey that it's on, that you begin to appreciate all of the aspects, every, place that you're at. If you're at, time that's quiet, you know what, embrace that quietness and take time off. Then when it may get a little bit busier and it's really hectic, then embrace that time, knowing that, it's going to slow down again, or that, it's going to medium out. So through this transition, you're learning to apply the knowledge that you learned up until this point. And so when we learn to apply it, we learn wisdom, but we have to learn the lessons. We can't, it's not just a pretending learning, it's those aha moment. I get it. So that's where you're at right now. That's the biggest lesson, is know to appreciate every stage that you're at in this journey, because each stage in itself is an important stage. Okay, so this is going to come up with, wow. So in regards to partnerships, the first card is the card of the Spirit of Divine, and the second card is the Warrior of Fire. And it usually only take one card, and the Spirit of the Divine would represent the feminine energy. And so if we put this together, then Spirit says we're not putting them together. Those 2 cards are meant to come up as in, this is the partnership. So the relationship, within this relationship, partnership, or the person that you're going to meet if you haven't met them yet, this person is somebody that very social, or you're going to meet him in a very social atmosphere, a place where he feels his strength. He feels most confident, because I think that although he may be going through lessons, he may not be as confident, or may not project that confidence in all situations, but he seems to be more comfortable in spaces that there's a lot of people around, because that can sort of camouflage their lack of self value. And I actually am getting the message at the same time is that they're also at the same time going through a very similar journey. That's that transition. So it's almost like you're both going on this same journey, but I'm going to say the person, you've got different lessons within those journeys. So you may be both on a journey, but there are complete different messages. The feminine energy is an energy that it's a spirit of the divine, and this is, peace, continuity, living out, I'm going to say outside of the box, connected to spirit, connected to your higher self. And these two energies together, what they're learning at this time is that it's okay to be different, but I think that you have to look towards the uniqueness of each person and see how that complements one another. And so through this transition period, it may be that you are going to be experiencing or looking at this person differently than the same as you, but you're going to be looking at them differently and almost with a brand new awareness of, hey, perhaps they're on this lesson of, or this page of, learning as well. I'm going to grant them the same grace as I've been granted, because you've come a long way, and you have to see that you've come, through all that you've journeyed through, you've come to this place of a commitment to self-love and a commitment to the divine, and really connected, and keeping that continual connection available, and in the forefront of your mind. So that, wow, the two cards that come out in, the two cards that come out in the position of, for you, for the shadow side and the reveal side, is very, very interesting. And so the card in the shadow side is the card of the fox. It's the way of the fox. And the fox is, the fox has this ability to become one with the environment. I had a kid, a fox, that lived under our barn when we moved. We were living on the farm, and they just brought me so much joy. But what their message is to you at this time, I'm going to say this right off the start, because I know this is about the feminine side, but I believe in this part of the reading, this is about how you're going to identify with your partner, with the other person, and watching them. I think that there's an observation here that's going on, and so you yourself are changing, and you've become this I'm going to say divinely wise person, or this journey you've committed, like really committed to. And so you're now able to observe from a different perspective. So as you watch them, where before you might have watched them and seen, one thing, and now that you're watching the situation, you're thinking that perhaps there was a different meaning to what transpired, or what was going on. So you've learned that, or are learning that, and that's on the shadow side. So it's something that you have to bring to the forefront of your awareness, and come to terms with, to work through. It's to understand and see that confidence, being that you were allowed to move through. This person gets to allow to move through, allow the gracefulness for this other person, to move through that part of the journey themselves. Okay. On the reveal side is the hummingbird, and a hummingbird typically, always for me, represents a passing, somebody, hummingbirds, if we've lost something, it doesn't necessarily have to do with, the losing of a partner, or losing someone close to us. It could be a business, it could be, but there's typically a sense of loss, and you've come from this place where you actually didn't show completely your truth. Okay, I got it. And you didn't always show your truth, But now this transformation that you've gone, these lessons that you've really learned have allowed you to kind of step back a little bit, because the hummingbird is the only bird that can fly backwards, but it only does so briefly, just to take a bit step back, and always goes towards the sweetness of life. So you're being asked to see whatever loss you may have experienced or are experiencing, though that loss was meant to bring more joy and happiness into your life. You look back, but you have to see the lessons in that. That's the opportunity, is to find the lessons through all of, what you've experienced. Because in every single challenge, opportunity, thing that goes on during the day, we discover that these lessons that we had to. So you're going through this point of being really happy. Stay in that. That should be joy, healing, endurance, happiness, love. That should be your core at this point, because that's how people see you. People see you as somebody that, is sweet and strong and always finds the joy. And that's what you're being asked to do, is to see the good. Remember the good. Remember the good. Spirit's saying, remember the good in this person. It's really important for you to do that. This person at some points, they also just said, often feels lonely. So in some degree, that I believe that this person, if you're in separation, of somehow really, truly misses you a lot. And they're working through things, and you need to be patient, but that's your choice. Everything is a choice. And so just know that I think you've been offered quite a bit of quite a bit of grace on your journey. It's to allow for that same grace of another. And so the next part of the reading is going to be, the first card comes up. It's my regular meditation. It's my favorite style of reading. And so the first card comes up is what, from the feminine energy, what are you suppressing? Or what is the feminine side suppressing? And wow. And the card comes up as Ace of Pentacles. So Pentacles are all about stability. It's all about, money. It's all about offering. It's about being self-sufficient. It's about foundations. It's about knowing that Spirit says what the lesson, why it's important for you to understand and to know this, is that you need to be open to being self-sufficient. I'm not saying that you're going to be have to be self-sufficient, but trusting that everything that you're experiencing at this point, or up to this point, is what you've needed to experience for your growth forward. And so when you open yourself up and you say, it may have been a little tight, especially with this COVID stuff, there's a lot of people that have really struggled, and, don't have, the same income as they may have had, a while ago, because for a variety of reasons. And so this is to look at yourself and say, you know what, I made it and I did really good. And now I know that I can trust, but you're not allowing that trust from Spirit, but Spirit is waiting to offer you. It's like Spirit's waiting for you to be ready so that you can experience that abundance, that profitability, that stability, and that foundation that is very, very grounded and solid. And I also see that there is, within this card, there's a pathway from your previous experiences. why that's so important is because the pathway as you move forward will become clearer, but you have to be able to see it as a positive rather than a negative. You know, it was a challenge, but it was an opportunity. And that's the knowledge. Applying the experience brings wisdom. Okay, so the two cards that, the yin, the yin and the yang, what balances one another. The Lovers, balanced by the Knight of Cups, Knight of Cup. Well, there's only one cup there. So why this is like so important as balancing. And honestly, again, I'm feeling that so much of what this reading is about for you, for pile number 1, is about faith. An honest, true faith that this is meant to be. This is, divinely inspired. I believe this is, with this person, this is a twin flame. And this person wants to bring that offering to you. And so, but it's having that faith and understanding for yourself of, being deserving of that love. And you have gained that, all the knowledge of that. So now it's to apply it. So when I was saying before about this person being social, I believe there's going to be a social atmosphere when you two connect next time. Because it does feel like there's been some sort of separation, and maybe it feels that way just because it's been COVID and lots of separation has taken place. And so the next time you two are together, it's to really bare your souls. It's to be truthful. It's to be honest. It's to, and that's the nakedness. And that's not about, ripping everybody's clothes off. That's not what it's about, although that could be fun for you. But it's not what it's about. It's bearing your soul. It's bearing, your truth, your honesty, being finally being honest, upfront, honest and truthful about this connection. And so you've done the work, and now when you come into contact with them the next time, it's to show that you've learned and grown. So that's what you need to do. And in doing that, that will balance the card of the Knight of Cups, because the Knight is the offering. Pages are typically messages, and Knights are offerings. And being a Knight and of Cups, they may do it a little bit awkwardly, and that's okay, because you've learned to more. Oh, that's why I kept saying go with the flow, go with the flow, go with the flow. That's why it's been really important to for you, part of your journey and that transition, because you have had to learn to go with the flow within that transition. Excuse me. Now the next card is the card the card in the position of meditation, and it's the Queen of Swords. And that's feminine energy to do to do a meditation with a very strong, truthful, honest, from that place. Not from fear, where you were fear-based, and now you're based in truth, honesty, love. And so you're going to offer that. Okay, so I also believe that there was somewhat, not also part of the way of the fox, is sometimes that does come with deception, because often we don't want to show people exactly who we are because we're fearful. This is about shedding that light, shedding that skin, and opening up the light within yourself, and starting to make your decisions based on truth and honesty, real truth and honesty, not any kind of deception. Because it's so easy to deceive ourselves. Social dissonance is so prevalent in today's society. I think it probably would confuse a lot of people. I still am, to me, integrity and truthfulness is such a huge part of my culture, how I was brought up. And so this is about now stepping forward. So in the meditation position, this is saying when you're in that meditation place, visualize how you see coming together, because you have to step on that other side of fear, or that other side of the lack of confidence. You've grown, you need to show that you've grown. So you need to make that choice from that commitment, from that integrity, from all that you've learned, from the knowledge plus experience equals wisdom. Okay, so that's the meditation. You really need to see it. Meditation to me is probably one of the things that we should be teaching children right from the hip hop, starting them off when we're breastfeeding our children to be meditating, spending that time to finding calm, to finding that peacefulness within ourselves. So the next 3 cards are the cards of the body, mind, and heart. And so, in the position of your body is the card of the Justice. Whoa, so another major arcana card. And it's very interesting because, again, with the Justice, we're seeing the sword and then we're seeing the scales. So, that doesn't make sense. The Spirit just says truth comes from being honest. Well, it does make sense. Obviously, it makes sense. What I'm saying, it just makes sense. But I think what they're saying is that you need to really bear yourself. You need to find that balance. And that balance is coming from standing strong in your truth, and justice will be served in your favor. And so know within your body, okay, so Spirit just said one of the things that you can do to, like, a tool that I usually share with my clients, a tool that can be used is to challenge yourself and say, you want something, you want to do something, and then lie to yourself and see how your body feels. And then if you do tell the lie, or you play along with that game, how does that make you feel? And what entangles from that? And then on the other side of that, when you make a decision based on love and honesty and self-respect, when you make that decision, how does that make you feel? And as it goes, I will tell a story about that. And I'm going to say that, the last couple, I've really grown into this part of it. So I understand this, very much so, because it's been so much of my journey of late. And at the other day, I really wanted to attend something, but I'd already made plans with somebody else. And I know this person very, very well. And so I know what they would have done, but I'm very used to, pleasing others, or I had been, and I've been working very hard not to do that, and prioritizing myself. And as much as this person is and always has been a priority in my life, I so wanted to do this other event. And so I chose that. And there was no anxiety, there was no fear, there was no, did I make the right decision? I made the decision because I knew that's what I wanted to do. And so I knew it was right because it felt good. And then I didn't have to stumble over myself. Because sometimes what people will do then too is they want to go somewhere else and they'll lie. And then they have to backtrack and say, oh no, I wasn't there. And it just creates a mess. But once you become aware of that, that does become far more of, wisdom when you start connecting that together and making decisions based in that light. And so for you, it's learning to make decisions based on truth, honesty, how you feel, and where you're going. So where you want to be going in your life. Whoa, the next card is another major arcana card. And so, and you know, it doesn't surprise me, because when we're going from that, you know, from knowledge to divine wisdom, that is so often, the lessons can be excruciatingly painful, they said, and they can be. But the next card that comes in the position is and it's of your noggin up here, your mind and your thoughts, and it's the Wheel of Fortune. And so that saying is that there's lots of opportunity ahead for you. There's lots of opportunity for you to really embed in yourself what's important, your priorities, what is your truth, and start following that, and always keep your target compass at north, true north, truth. Always keep your compass towards truth, and that's the honest truth, not the deceptive truth. It's the honest truth. Okay, that's where we're getting at. What do I honestly want? What do I, you know, and it's not between a want and a need. It's just knowing honestly what you want, not just what you think. So it's knowing the reasons for it. I hope that made sense, because it was a lot of babble. Okay, so the next the next card in position of your heart is the Page of Swords. So again, this is a page being a messenger, and so within your heart, okay, this is what Spirit just said, is that you've had to you still have a little bit of shadow work to do. And it's not like clung to you. It's just sort of, you know, following behind. It's almost, this is going to sound really silly, but it's almost like it's waiting for an opening, so that it can, you know, nope, you're not good enough. So it's to conquer that. And that's the pages, what the Page of Swords, that's the message that they are offering to you, is that stay within that, your lane of truth, and so that shadow side, so there's not even a doubt when you know you're making the right decision. There will be no doubt when that comes, okay? And so this largely is about you owning and, you know, learning your own decisions, becoming who you are and always were meant to be. And what it's going to do is the final card of the message at this time, your universal lesson, is the Eight of Swords. So this is so much about truth. There's swords, but so much about truth and so much about love. So this is where you have felt that you've been tied up, that you haven't been able to be yourself. You've blinded yourself. You know, I'm going to go back to this social dissonance, because it's really being a very strong, powerful word that keeps coming up over and over and over again. And so it's taking that blindfold off. And so all of what you're doing by, you know, looking for justice, walking towards true north, walking towards integrity, walking towards all of your own truth, that the blindfold's going to come off, and that all of those swords, you're going to now be proud of the decisions that you make, rather than them holding you back. And they're not going to make you feel less than. It's very interesting is that somebody said to me the other day, they were upset about something, and they said, it's because I want to make everybody else happy. And my reply was, but are you making you happy? And the answer was no. And, you know, so that's an honest answer, because once we become aware and that answer is honest, then we can begin at that point to respond, react, and to be, make decisions for our highest good that put ourselves first. To take care of ourselves. We can take care of other people easily, and we can take care of ourselves easily, but we have to do it. And it's not just about pleasing everybody else. You have to ask yourself, well, why am I doing that? What is the reason for it? And so you have to be honest. I'm not saying not do it. I'm saying find out the reason for it. You may have healing to do, and that's why you're needing to make everybody else feel good, everybody else feel okay, you know, that everyone's all right, the kids are all right. That's sort of a control issue. You may have experienced that the hummingbird we had here, so that may have been part of it. If you had a loss or a death, or something, you know, tragic that's happened in your life, that may be why, or there may be fear attached to it. So just open that up, ask, and then heal that part of it. And then that's okay to want to make everyone happy, as long as you're aware of what you're doing, why you're doing it, and that you start working on making yourself the priority and happy as well. So the three opportunity, challenge, and outcome cards are, the first card is the, is the what you're needing to learn at this time, and it is going with the flow. Sorry, through that transition. It's going with the flow. It's going with the flow through emotions. And as I said, this is what you're needing to understand, is you're in this position with this particular person, because it's like you've kept batting against the rocks, or batting against, you know, what wasn't serving you. And now you're understanding that that way wasn't working. And so you're able to change the trajectory. Trajectory is my new favorite word. So the challenge for you as you're, the challenge for you as you're moving forward is trust. Now, you all saw me shuffle these cards, right? Because I did. So this is about trusting. And that seems to be that you haven't trusted in you haven't been confident, or in the past had not been confident about making decisions. For whatever reason, you have not been confident about making decisions. So this is about learning to trust yourself, to just jump. Just know that that decision that you're making is the best and the right decision. And if you have to say that, this is the best decision that I am going to make in this day, place, and time, based on all the information that I have to right now, and make that decision and do it with pride and confidence. And that's hard. And outside of the ego and outside of the fear, on the other side of that, wow, is the card of nothingness. And so what's that saying is that going with the flow, trusting is, and it's a major arcana card, is about, it's about trusting that you don't know the result of your action, trusting that your action was made from love and from truth and from what you want. If it's made out of fear and anger and all those, you know, unfaith, whatever, all of that, you're not going to have the same outcome. So you're doing this without knowing the outcome. And that's so important. And then you just learn to start making decisions and walking forward with confidence and trust. And this person that you are with really needs this from you. For some reason, they really need that, because they've had a lot of work to do. And so it's almost like they are, say, counting on you that's a word. But if you're twin flames, it makes complete sense that they are counting on you because you have your own lessons to learn. It's almost like you're both waiting for the green light on both sides. We still have a little bit of work to do on both sides. You'll get the green light as you start making these decisions, trusting your decisions, because now you're going with the flow, and it doesn't matter. The outcome isn't the reason for your decision. Like, it's not if, oh, but what if I do that and they say no? Well, so what? You know what? Then move on. Or, you know, let it go. Let them go on their own journey. Figure out their answer. Just know that it's not a reflection of you. You just need to be proud of the fact that you trusted and made a connection, and that was the result. It doesn't mean you can't do that again. It just means everybody's in a certain place where they're meant to be at this exact moment in time, and then you get to move forward, and then you're in a different place in time and make a different decision. Again, I hope that makes sense. So, oh gosh, okay. The card from the Wisdom of the Women's deck is Following My Truth. So honestly, I don't know if this could be any more clear, but this is really about believing in and following your inner truth. And that's what's going to help you to live an authentic life. It is when you learn that, you know, you've been deceiving yourself, and you almost live as somebody else's, you know, the way other people want you to live. We don't do that very well because we don't know how somebody else lives. We have no idea what's in their head. So this is following your truth, who you are, your authentic passions and identities. And so the next card is the card of, this is Sanctuary. And it definitely is one of my favorite cards. And so this is truth and this is trust. In my inner sanctuary, I connect to peace, inner quiet, and comfort. So it's not moving forward with all the demons in your head and all the distracting thoughts that stop you, that don't allow you to trust. So that inner sanctuary should be your safe place. Your home is your safe place. And so know that this place is, you need to clear out all that chakras, all your, you know, garbage, clear it out, clean it out, and start living your authentic person, following your truth. The final card in this part of the reading is the card of appreciation. And so that's super important. Appreciating the good that exists in the here and now expands my awareness to all that is good in the universe. So living your truth, living with appreciation, living for the good, knowing that it's all good. Good things happen to bad people, bad things happen to good people. Good people do bad things, bad people do good things. People just do things, and we all do from that place where we're at. And so as you're moving forward, you're going to learn to appreciate both aspects, both sides. So, you know, following your truth, trusting, and without expectation or without condition. So you jump without knowing that someone's going to catch you, but trusting that something's going to, you know, somebody's going to catch you, or the parachute's going to help you. And so it's appreciating both sides. Whatever result happens, it's giving gratitude because of the lesson that you may have had to learn in regards to that experience. I'm just going to show you this part. So the card at the bottom of the deck before I shuffle the Romance Angel is the card of deception. And so that's very relevant for this pile. Grounding in love. Oops. Okay. Okay. Oh my gosh. Okay. So the first card that comes, oh my God, is Unrequited Love. to me, this is the most feared card. But it's unrequited love, and the card often says that, you know, there's not enough attraction or chemistry. I see this card is there's not enough truth. And you know, it's somebody may have rejected, or there's a reason for the rejection, or there's not, but that's where to find out what the exact truth is. But I almost think that may be part of where you're coming from, is that perhaps there was this air of, you know, feeling as though the relationship was done over, whatever. And the truth was that there was work to do. And so from the place that either you were in, the feminine energies in, wasn't ready. And so you can go from that place and start moving forward. And so it would say at this point, is there still lessons to be learned prior to this relationship coming together? And this card said that this has to do with healing family issues. And I think that this has to do because we're doing the feminine energy, and it's for yourself is coming to terms with either your childhood, or just going your whatever you're experiencing with your family at this time, and seeing how, or understanding the perspective that we all came here to learn lessons, and that's our family was almost our support system, even though sometimes they didn't seem like a support system. They're basically giving you what you needed to learn to grow into this person that you're meant to be. Okay. And so I don't know if I want another card for here. That's all I'm going to say. I really don't. Okay, so that's it. It's just there's just some healing to do within for yourself to understand better this connection. That's what's important. I have the wrong deck. So for the feminine side, what messages do you have for your partner? Partner. That's for Paka. My friend has a grandson. His name is Parker. I can't even say it. But every time I say his name, I call him Paka. And he says, "Why do you call me that?" And I said, "I don't know. I like it." So it's good enough for he's not. And then I asked him if he was okay with it. But I do. I like to say Paka. Just sounds cute. So anyhow, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So what would you say to them if you could? Let's see. Right now, from this perspective today, what would you say to them? Oh, okay, there's a fair bit of passion here. So the honest truth is that there is a sexual attraction. So perhaps you haven't admitted that piece, or they haven't admitted that piece. But anyways, that piece needs to be discussed at some point, or there are, issues with, there's just a lot of passion within this relationship. Oh, next card is maybe. And so this is part of the unrequited love, okay? It's maybe, it's the unsurety. And I get from the depiction in this picture, there we go. What I get is that there is, so much deception, and that's why it's a maybe. There's still some unsurety. And so the unsurety is not just on their side, it's also on your side. And so really be honest about it. And understanding, again, when you're being honest, if you're being honest and saying, maybe why are you saying that? Because you just want to go back and understand your decisions. Okay. The next card, this is my card. Happiness is my priority. And, maybe that is what you have to say. It's, it's not just, it's a celebration card, so it would almost be the 3 of Cups. But and is about being happy. Oh, we have the the hummingbird, and that was all about happiness and joy. And so that's, you know, restructuring, understanding, and really knowing that that joy is your priority. So that's being honest about it. And if you're honest about that in your life, on your journey, and this is single, I don't know if this is a message you would tell to them, but this is for you to say to yourself, if my priority is happiness, I'm only going to do things that bring me happiness, right? Makes sense? Yeah, I think so. And okay, so this card says you have so many choices and options. And from your perspective, perhaps that may be true. And maybe that's how you're thinking, you know, from them, is that they have so many choices and options. But I do believe that if asked in an honest manner, once clear, you'd see that they don't have all of those choices and options. What they want is you. And so trusting in the universe and trusting in spirit and God and, you know, whatever it is that you believe in, that it's going to transpire in the manner that you wish. And the final card is listen to your heart. So again, that part really comes with the honesty that needs to be the honesty that you're working through, and both sides, because that's love is the answer, but it has to be love is not the same as sex. Sex is better with love, but you really need to come back to terms with your honest to goodness truth. Okay, so that was pile one. Thank you very much. If you liked your reading, please like, comment and subscribe. And namaste. I hope that provided a little bit of guidance. And so we are now moving to pile two. Hi, pile two, and that's with the green beautiful stone and the number 11, synchronicity. That's my number 11 means to me, is synchronicity. And so what I'm going to do is, what that says is there's going to be a lot of synchronicities that you're going to notice that are going to come into play within this relationship. So there's, you know, start listening to those synchronicity, those moments of synchronicity. Those, I know this seems weird what I'm doing, but I'm trying to get to my card. There it is. Notice that. Start paying attention to the moments that seem, you know, that there may be another, I'm going to say another hand at play, and that other hand is typically spirit. Okay, so the first card that comes up, wow, and the first card up is the Warrior of Water. And because we're doing the, you know, feminine energy, this is very interesting because this Warrior of Water has a lot of passion, a lot of love. They have a lot of inner, experience, inner feelings and thoughts and emotions. And they are trying to deal with them as they can and find that fluidity within their emotions. It's not stopping them or pushing them down. It's allowing the emotions to be embraced, allowed, accepted, and the movements forward from then. And that, you know, you're not on this sort of thing. It's more on not on an even keel, but it's an understanding that it's fluid, so it will keep going. And that's what it means. So you may feel, you know, yucky or whatever it is in this moment, but the next moment you know, just wait a day. It's almost like coming from Winnipeg. It's almost like they say about the weather. If you don't like the weather, wait 5 minutes and it will change. And so, oh wow. So at this time, what you need to do most is this healing. And oh wow. Healing, healing within, and it's a spiritual healing. This is about cleansing yourself, taking a look, because it's chosen with the Warrior of Water. And so this is about taking control of your emotions and understanding them, and re-nourishing every single cell in your body to feel restored, to feel renewed, to feel invigorated, to feel alive again. Because where you're going towards, the cards of the shadow side is the wisdom of the bear, and of the reveal side is the wisdom of the hummingbird, which is the exact same in PileOne. Very interesting always to me. And that is the wisdom of the bear, is to pay attention to your dreams, to your thoughts, to any sort of communication with spirit. It's also a lot of grandmother spirit, lessons that you could learn, lessons that you learned from your ancestor. And know that your ancestors are protecting you, that they are with you, and they want to help you to heal, to move forward. And on the other side of that is the wisdom of the hummingbird, which is, so it's balanced by Spirit saying that the healing that you have to do may stir up or bring up some major healings. I'm going to say that. And what you're being reminded of is your truth, and knowing that the goal, the want is to find that joy, that, you know, knowing that we all have the ability to heal, whether this is a physical healing, a mental healing, or a spiritual healing, any kind of healing that you're having. Remember that you have spirit by you, assisting you, okay? And so I want to pick a couple of these cards. Okay, so you are at this point needing to spend more time on yourself and healing and connecting with source, whatever source means to you, whether that be God, the creator, a source energy, reconnecting with that to ground yourself, to find that joy, to find that light within yourself. There's something to do with a movement, a movement, not you're moving along, but a movement. There's some sort of movement that you're going to be involved in, and I'm not sure what that means, but there is a movement, and that movement has to come from, you know, after you've done the healing. Otherwise you're moving forward in a place that's not pure, a place that's not authentic. It doesn't mean that you're doing it, you know, as a bad person. It just means you're not being authentic about it, and you need to heal all of that so you can react, you can respond, you can take action. You're not just reacting off the cuff, you're taking action. And the challenge to this for you, is this means that you're growing up and maturing to a whole new level. And again, when you're understanding that, and alongside with the number 11 and the maturity, is that understanding that certain synchronicities that happen are there to allow you to grow and to mature and to move forward with in this movement. I don't know anything more about the movement at this point, but this may make sense to somebody at some point. that about a movement. And, oh, I love it. Okay, so the final card where you're going forward, and it's funny because it's the card of moment to moment. And I don't mean it's funny in that sense, because I was saying the movement isn't it was, the movement wasn't a moving forward, a move. Oh, I can't even explain it. I'm sorry. I apologize for that, but the movement as in, all I can think about is when women didn't wear bras, because that was a movement. That's the only thing. I apologize. But now that I get the moment to moment card, what I'm thinking is, it actually is that this maturity, this connecting with source, is about trusting, and it's about moving forward, going with the flow, with loving yourself, with living in this moment and enjoying every moment that you have. But you have to go through some of these healings. You have to have faith, and you have to, calm your emotions. You have to work through to come to a place where you can respond from here and not from the past, or anything that's happened previously. Okay, so what are you, oh my gosh, so what is it that you are resisting? And the card is of, you're suppressing. It's the Ten of Pentacles, and the Ten of Pentacles is about union. It's about, what do you want to leave the world with? Like, I think that there seems to be some kind of fears that you're cautious, because of this potential that you have to offer the world, in a manner of speaking. That's just what they said. But you have this great potential, and for some reason you are not, you're, rather than, oh, that's the movement, and rather than stepping into owning who you are. So when it comes to a relationship with this group, I'm going to say right off the bat is that there are two people that really have to, or yourself at this point, because it's the feminine energy, but you're really having to take a note, take a look, and own who you are. You've got to do that first and foremost, before you come together. And so the yin and the yang is the card of, yeah, interestingly, is the Two of Pentacles is decision, and it's about balancing. It's about balancing, finding a balance in a joyful manner that is respectful. Oh, seriously. It's okay. It is, but it's also about not looking backwards. Do we have the hummingbirds? It's not looking back. The hummingbird can fly backwards, but it only does so to take a look at the moment, the past for a moment, and then it flies towards the joy. And so that is, but sometimes you're looking at still what went wrong, rather than the Six of Wands, which can be, it's one of the soulmate cards. This is, the Six of Wands is about victory. And so to be able to see yourself as victory. And so I think that's part of that healing process, is that you hadn't been allowed to do that, or you hadn't done that, and for whatever reason was stopping you or preventing you. And so that's why it's so very important to do that healing that is necessary for you at this time. So the card of, in the position of meditation, is the Seven of Wands. And again, now the seven is about knowledge. And so when you're in meditation is to look back at decisions that were previously made, and to see whether, asking yourself, whether I reacted or whether I took that opportunity to take action. Because there's something that's bigger than what you have acknowledged or what you are aware of. That's coming forth for you, coming your way. And you have to be prepared. So you really need to do that healing, and you need to be open. You need to clear the pathway. And I don't know if this has anything to do with this card, but they keep giving me messages of, like you're working really, really hard, and you're trying, but it's just this larger than life image that I'm getting, and working and working and working. And so you're putting action into play. And so as a meditation card, what you want to do is see yourself taking a hold of those opportunities and making the decision, and seeing yourself as strong and confident and proud, and making the decision from that space. So you need to actually visualize this to change it, to see it. So the next three cards are, wow, the body, the body, the noggin, and the heart. And the card of the body is the card of the Tower. And that really doesn't surprise me, because, and it is a major arcana card, but I do believe that your body has probably gone through a lot of change. And, it may have seemed like it was very destructive. And I can totally relate to this card in this position, because I had been ill for a year. And during that time, it's really, really difficult to concentrate or do anything other than, try to heal yourself or work on healing. And although it seems like everything is, you've lost everything, or nothing's been gained, there comes a point where you can all of a sudden step forward and look and say, wow, I made it through that. And I made it through that stronger then. Because you have a very solid base to begin with. I see the Tower card is knowing what your foundation is, and whatever's up here can crumble, because what needs to crumble is all of those things that aren't important, all of those things that you need to get rid of, all of those things that are just distracting. So there's a total renewal of your body. The next card is the card in the position of your noggin, your head, and that's the card of the King of Swords. And so this is telling me that I believe that there's been a masculine, I think it's more than one masculine energy, but has males that have been played very prominent roles in your life. Masculine roles, I have to say that correctly. It's masculine roles have been very prominent in your lifetime, but now you're being able to, because it's within your head, you're now able to see with, I'm going to say, authority or leadership and confidence, your decisions. And that's what it's about. And so taking that, and you cleared away all the garbage in your head, so you're now able to make those decisions that are clearly based on divine clarity. Cool. Okay, and then the card in position of the heart is the King of Pentacles. And I'm kind of getting a feeling that you may have more than one suitor per se, and the choice is yours, always yours. Choose wisely. Lovely Spirit just said, choose wisely. Choose from love. Choose. Oh, I didn't do the last card. Choose from that place of that brings forth the foundation or stability that reflects your stability. Wow. This card rarely comes out. And it's the card of the sun. So you got the Tower and then you got the sun. Okay. So this is all leading you towards such beauty and grace in a beautiful and graceful way. Because perhaps where you have thought that, you know, because of this Tower has come crumbling down, you know, when your heart, that can actually do such a number, and to know that it was not all for nothing. It was to bring more beauty and clarity into your world, into your life. And so that's the feminine energy. And so now we're going to find out the feminine energy within the Romance Angel cards. I wanted to try something new and I forgot to do it. Remember next time. Okay, the first card is of playfulness. That, I believe, is going to come as you start releasing, and as you start owning your, oh God, it said celebrityness, owning who you truly are. And you really need to recapture romance, and that's by, you know, being playful, by being joyful, by being, you know, remembering that joy, remembering that, you know, that you do have the ability to have fun again. You have the ability to, you know, be alive again. And somebody I just heard has a partner that had passed on. And so someone that's hearing this does or did, but has passed on, and that has overshadowed much of what has transpired in their relationships, not just romantic relationships, but other relationships. And it's to remember that. And so I think that that's where the Tower came crashing down, and that did, and seeing how it did affect your body, but you're still allowed to have fun, and you're still allowed to have joy in your life. And Spirit and they want you to have that joy and playfulness in your life. So let go of the control. Let go of control issues. Sorry, and you know, when I get this, and so when I'm doing this, sometimes it's like they send me this message and I go, so just let go of the control issues. It's almost as easy as that. We cannot know when something is going to happen to somebody else. We don't know. I have to give an example, and this is another friend that, and it wasn't about controlling, but we always received this message from her husband who had passed away, and he was such a beautiful man, and she's an incredibly beautiful woman. And we kept getting the message of stay open, stay open, stay open, or keep an open mind. And what we thought it meant was not. So what she had to do was really just let go of the control issues. You know what? Spirit is helping you in your situation. So work on yourself to heal yourself. And as you do that, you will find that clarity, free yourself. This is about this person that you are meant to be You are meant to be that person, and you need to be that person, okay? It's super important for you to free yourself and to it's the card of the path awareness, and that's just saying is that knowing that your chosen path is what you are experiencing at this time. And so that's part of the letting control of issues, or letting control of trying to make everything happen the way you want it to, because that's not the way it works. And that's where we can really start putting ourselves down. So it's this path awareness, and know that you're always guided back to the right path for your soul's journey. And the next card is that of Princess Charming. And so that saying is that you need to be that woman, that person, that feminine, that divine. Again, this doesn't, whether it's you're a male or female, you could be the masculine or the feminine. I don't even think that made sense, but you can be either the masculine or feminine energy within the relationship, dominance within the relationship. Okay, so wow. Okay, so you have to know that you are, this is the card is shining bright. You have to know that you are a very special person. And all of what's transpired had to happen in order for your truth to come out, in order for your truth to be displayed and reflected in your life cycle, in your lifetime. And so if you were to present messages to this person, these would be your own messages that I'm actually getting was different from the last one. These would be messages that they would be asking you, okay, because you're on this journey. So they might be a little bit not unsure. And the card is, I sometimes wonder if you care. So that may have been what you had been presenting because you hadn't healed yourself. And the next card is, do you think about me too? And so there might be some retraction from them as well. But they do think about you, and they're just unsure of themselves. And that may have been what you presented to them. Definitely. So you want to know if they're yours, if they're your person, you're definitely, that's the answer. And I said prior to this, you may have a couple options, and so this option is, will you choose me? So you have the work to do, and if you know, it's possible that the person that you are thinking of, that's the person that we were talking about. And so allow for the relationship to just open up and expand in the manner that it is supposed to. So that's it for pile number 2. And I thank you for being here. And if you liked it, like, subscribe, all those things. And so pile number 3, which is the yellow, and the number 12, which means you have been through the process, and you are now working through your next stage within your journey, and most likely within the relationship. So I'm starting off with my spirit deck of authenticity to see where you're at. And so this is feminine energy, and I just said this to the last pile, that feminine and masculine energy isn't, no, good grief. Feminine and masculine energy isn't just for, the masculine energy isn't for just males, and the feminine energy isn't just for females. We all have a sense of masculine and feminine energy within us all. And so this is the feminine energy. However it resonates to you, that's what's supposed to transpire. Wow, it's like I didn't shuffle them. Okay, so holy crap. These cards are almost, aside from one card, exactly the same as the last piles. So I have to see if it's going to come up with the same message, because we're moving forward in this. And being the feminine energy, and the card that represents you where you're at in a position, and this is the card of the Warrior of Water. And so it's as I said before, feminine energy. Your feminine energy needs to grow in strength and in leadership. Somehow you need to be more proud and confident of your journey, your pathway, because your emotions had been really lopsided, and understanding the fluidity of it. And so you're actually coming from the depths of the water, the depths of those emotions, the darkness, like you're doing a lot of shadow work, or a lot of cleansing, a lot of clearing, a lot of, renewal. And your shadow and reveal sides, and your shadow side is the wisdom of the hummingbird. So at this point, I just say that to me, there may be a loss that's connected to you. I do get the feeling that this was somebody very close to you that you lost, and it really affected yourself, and it changed, and that might have been part of your emotions, that you haven't dealt with that death, and it's time to come to terms with that. And a lot of people will say that, you know what, when somebody passes, we don't have to, it's our choice of how to, how long to grieve for. And grieving is a process, and you always, it's like you never forget these people or that person, you never will, and you always carry them in your heart. And you can always talk to them, you can always be with them. This is saying that you actually, they communicate with you in your dreams, and they send you messages. And the reason that this is coming up and so important is because it's a reminder to yourself that you need to heal this, so that you can, this relationship that you're in or wanting to be in has changes that need to go through. And I do believe this relationship is either in separation or has not been together, because there's been a lot of issues that both sides have had to deal with. But I think in the 5D, in our, I don't know, I'm thinking travel, astral travel, that sort of thing, you two are committed. You two have that relationship that continues on, no matter what's happening now, is that relationship continues on in there. And first you need to come to terms with this, I'm going to say right now, this anger, sadness, and I'm not using anger in a negative way. I'm using anger as a honest, truthful way, is that we're allowed to be angry. So allow yourself to be angry over what happened, and then go through the next process of healing, and of learning through to be more playful, to be more joyful, to be more compassionate, to be more not so hard. But you may not have understood that that's how you were responding, or where you were responding from, but that is the place that you were responding from. So the next two cards that I'm going to pull, I keep looking down that way because previous to this I had a shelf there that I don't right now, so kind of draw them in. A little nutso. Okay, so I'm going to do that with, okay, so, okay, first message that you need to hear. Ugh, I'm not doing anything. Excuse me. The first message that you need to hear is that you're not alone, that Spirit's with you, that your guides want to help you. Your guides want you to open fully your heart. That you have been, oh, that's why it's the 12, because you're onto a new. Oh, and also the yellow is the joy. You're missing joy out of your life. You need to bring joy back into your life. And this transition is really so much where you're meant to be, and that's knowing it. Okay, so, well, of course. Okay, so the first card that comes up is self-renewal. And that is where you're at, is as you clean out old energies, and that's what you don't need to hang on to anymore. You have more space for that which wants to be nurtured and birthed into life, brought into joy, brought into balance. And so you are going through a self-renewal. And that's okay. That's the 12. This is your path. You are where you are meant to be, period. And favorite card again, I can say that about all the cards. And this is about loving from the inside. This is about loving. So as you heal yourself, it's a blessing to give yourself the gift of your own presence. And when we're in thought of, something that had happened, of something that's, especially when somebody's passed, we almost forget to live, and we begin to live, I'm almost going to say feeling, through feelings and emotions rather than from the heart. And that's what you're being asked to do. And at the same time, begin using your voice and expressing how you're feeling, expressing what you're seeing, expressing your emotions, and dealing with, with that, seeing yourself as the light that you want to share, and start speaking your truth and express your feelings. If someone says to you, how are you feeling? Answer them honestly, truthfully, because it's not serving anybody when you don't, okay? The next 3 cards is that you have to see this whole place where you come to, how successful that you have been. You have to see that what you've survived, what you've gone through, how you're healing. And you also need to learn to trust. Trust. You can open up again. Open up with clarity, open up with honesty, open up with love, and release all of this yin yang, all of this stress that you're carrying around that you don't need to. Ask for help. Ask for help. It doesn't make you weak. It actually makes you stronger when you can ask. And sometimes we just have to ask, asking Spirit at the same time. That's a weird movement. Asking Spirit at the same time, asking friends, just asking for help, taking the load off, what you don't need to carry around. And it's like that, it's controlling you. But what you do is you stop. And then you get rid of all that you don't need. You can delegate it out, or you can just say, you know what, hey, I need somebody to help me right now, to help me experience this, or help me to process this, because I don't think where I thought I might have processed it, I'm thinking now that maybe I didn't process it. And so I need to go back and work my way through it. Okay, so the cards in regard to, the cards that go through, you're in stagnant energy. That's what I'm going to say. The card that's in the position of what you're suppressing is moving forward, and it's the Knight of Wands. It's, you have these decisions, you have these plans, you have all these things, but you're not making any movement, and that's because you haven't healed. So you have to do that healing so that you stop suppressing the movement forward, taking action. And that 2 cards that balance one another. This is awesome. In regards to a position of what balances yourself, and it's the 2 of Cups balanced by the 5 of Swords. 2 messages that I'm getting. One, this passing may have been a loved one, your partner, and balanced by the 5 of Swords is that you almost feel like you've been betrayed in some sort of way, and that you may have pushed people away, and so it's seeing that you may have pushed people away that want to help you. The other side of it is that you have a new relationship that wants to come forward, and it's a really beautiful relationship, but you have to deal with all you need to deal with first. And the 5 of Swords is saying is that you need to be honest and not so, you need to be exposed. You need to expose your true feelings. And that's the only thing that's going to balance this relationship, if you're moving forward into a new relationship, is balancing your emotions, and you're not hurting people. It's just taking a look back at why you're doing things, and that you'll see. And you'll also see, when I think I said, it was this group that I said, you need to understand, ask for help. And asking for help is can often be about surrendering to the fact that you are open, that you don't have to take that advice, but it can offer some sort of insight that's necessary, okay? And love it. So the card that comes up in the meditation position is that it's the Ace of Pentacles. That's it right there. And the Ace of Pentacles is really about that foundation, knowing what you want, knowing that you're going to be okay. I do also believe that you may have money coming to you, and I think for some reason it may create it's going to be quite an amount of money, and that's going to change certain things within your life. And so you've got to clear out so that you're doing what you want within your decision making as you move forward in your life. Seeing that you really can be. This is a renewal. I do believe a renewal of self-sufficiency, and that might have been a great fear that you had, and the where you may have relied on a partnership, and understanding that you can do this on your own. I don't think that's the message. You can do this is the only part of the message, but you're not meant to be alone. I think that's the message, is just kind of tangled up. As they show me a knot. Okay, so the card in position of your body is the card of the King of Wands. And what that's saying to me, there's a familiarity with this person, this new person that's going to be coming into your life. Familiarity, it may not be a new person that's coming into your life, but you're going to recognize them. You're going to feel that they are comfortable, they're warm, they're comforting, it's almost like they get you. It's interesting because that's one of the things when you ask people what they want in a relationship, and then lots of them say, I want someone that gets me. Beautiful. So the card in regards to your noggin, your head, it's to, you know what, you've got to start changing your thought process and understanding. And this is the Knight of Cups. And so you have to be open, like open your mind so that this person that wants to come forth and present, they're going to do it with respect. They have such respect for you. I'm also hearing it's not the same, it's not the same, it's not the same. So there may have been aspects of your past relationship that you would have wanted to change. Do it, change that, and know that this is, because there's so much respect that's coming. Kind of what they just said to me, it's not kind of, it's exactly what they just said. It's almost inconceivable for you to wrap your head around it, but Spirit's asking you to do just exactly that, is wrap your head around it and see that it is available for you. It's there's, you know, somebody that's coming forward, and so it's a mindset for you, and changing the process of believing in yourself and knowing that, you know, where you can be independent, that you don't really want to be independent. And so to, you know, kind of take down those blocks that are keeping people away. So the card in regards to your heart is the card of Justice. I do, honestly, if none of this rings true for you, pile number 3, there may be some messages in there, but from what I really gather is that there was a loss of somebody. I think it was for some people it would have been a partner, somebody else, it might have been a parent or a grandparent, but somebody that really meant a lot to you. And that's, so the card of the Justice comes up in the position of your heart. And so where, you know, perhaps there's so many scenarios that can come around this. One of the scenarios that Spirit just keeps saying is that you may not believe that you deserve a new relationship. B, that this relationship, because you were very happy and you had this, you know, very wonderful relationship, can you experience that twice in a lifetime? The answer is yes. You deserve it. That's why justice is served. In some manner, justice is going to be served. And so you have to allow for it. You have to allow for the truth to come forward. And the final card is the card, oh, okay, is the Two of Wands. Wow. Wowdy-dowd. Okay, so there's the Two of Wands. And it's really seen out there that this is tied in with your thoughts. I was going to say your knots and your thoughts. Your knots. The have-nots, the should-nots, the what, have, whatever that is. That this is tied in with your thoughts. And it's the Two of Wands. And it's leaving behind, but knowing that they'll always be with you. And then taking that and taking action, but first looking out and seeing all that's available. And when you're ready to make the decision, to make the choice to move forward, as opening up to move forward into inward to a new relationship. I remember talking to a friend as I read cards for them, and she said to me one day, and she said, I said something about meeting somebody, and she said, finally, she said, oh my gosh, do you mean I have to do something? Like, I was like, what? And she said, I don't know, I guess I just expected somebody would just come knocking on my door. She said, I'm now seeing, understanding that I actually need to, you know, open up to it, to open up my heart to another relationship. And within a very short time, she was in a relationship and now living together, and it's really quite beautiful. And so it's being open to it. So you've got to do that work in order to be completely open to the person coming forward into your life. You deserve it all. Wow. Okay. So I see this card completely different than what it states. But the card is of children, and that this card reminds me of the Six of Cups, and I believe there's some nostalgia. And I think I said that this person that's coming forward into your relationship, into your life, you may have known long ago, long ago. You may have known, depending on how old you are. A 4-year-old often says long ago, like last week. Anyways, may have known as a child, or may have, but when there's going to be a familiarity to them, and it's just they're going to make you feel very safe, very loved, very loved. So the next card that comes up is heart-to-heart conversation. I think that's where this is really going to spark and start things in a new trajectory, is through these heart-to-heart conversations. And so is to be really honest. And this is where it begins, is you being honest with your feelings, honest with your thoughts, honest with what you want, what you don't want, honest with your values and all of that, and being honest about your past, and wearing your life with pride, and knowing that you do deserve love. You do deserve all that you get. You deserve everything that you want. And the final card is new love. And so Spirit, it's funny because what I just got as I push is Spirit is pushing, I'm not sure whether they're pushing them or you, but towards one another. And so coming together, and this card does not always represent somebody new coming into your life, although it can, but this is a new love if you have lost a loved one, your husband, boyfriend, whatever that is. It would definitely be a new love, but it's going to be a familiar love, and it's going to be very comfortable love. You're going to be able to communicate to each other, and it's like that renewal of a connection, commitment, but it's a soul connection. And that's why it's so familiar, is because this is a soulmate connection. And so if this person could say anything to you, what would they say? Let's see what the hermittarot says. They would say, oh, I think so. Yes. So, they want to reach out. They may still be on the fence a lot. They may be waiting for your healing to you to open the door so they can walk through, and they can walk through and offer to you their heart. And the next card is, do you think about me too? And so they already have you in their radar, and they are waiting for that green light. They are waiting for you to show that you have, worked through what was necessary for you to work through. They really do. I think so. Yes, 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 yes. I don't know if it could be any more clear. I don't know that I need any more, but I'm going to tell you, I'm going to pick 2 more because I like this. And this card is wrongful advice. And it may be on one side, it may be on both sides, but somebody's getting advice that's not true or real. So they may have been going off that. And so understanding that brings clarity and offers new hope. Okay, thanks, Spirit. Oh my gosh. The other message that I need to let you know is they're terrified. They are really scared. But I think that goes for you as well. Because that's what you need to work towards, but it's kind of the same thing. Let me explain this. Because I think right now where you're sitting is that you are scared, because you've had that tower moment, you've had that, and you're on a new pathway, and so you're journeying through that terrifiedness or frightfulness, but they are also, and it could be for different reasons. And so they're saying, I am terrified, but that may be because they don't want to step over. They may not know when. That's why they're waiting for, you know, you to either a message in some manner, and it's this because this is divinely connected. Spirit will always make it. And with the Justice card in the position of your heart, that Spirit's going to give you what justice is meant for within this connection. So that's what I got for you, pile number 3. I thank you. Namaste. Much love. Blessings. If you liked your reading, please comment, subscribe, like, do all the things that we hear so often on these things. And blessings. And I hope to be back in the next couple days. And I'll show you my white heart again. This is my favorite. I had to somehow maybe give this to Freedom's Wind and see if she will make me a necklace out of it, because it's beautiful. So thank you very much and have an incredible day. Bye for now.